I'm not scared about this VBS story. There's no Matodzi affidavit. That is a sponsored propaganda that is aimed at intimidating and defocusing the EFF. I will never be defocused by VBS. I will never be intimidated by VBS. I can tell you seated here, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm so disappointed that Samkelo CIA doesn't defend me. I sat down with him. I gave him, it was a panel of them. I said, ask me any question you want to ask me. They asked me the same things that you are trying to create an impression that they are new. Those questions were raised at that time and facts were never found. No leader of the EFF received a VBS money. No EFF received a VBS money. Matodzi never alleges in his affidavit that the money was given to the EFF or the leadership of the EFF. In Matodzi's affidavit, which is unbelievable and we dispute, is that the money was given to Sgamega. As Sgamega money, which we never disputed, that Sgamega confirmed it received the money, to an extent that Sgamega was called by the curators of VBS, and Sgamega reached an agreement with the curators of VBS to pay back the loan they took from VBS. That loan has since been paid. So there is no one, even in Sgamega, who has eaten the money of Gogos. They've paid back that money back to the VBS. Try something else. You want to talk about the cut? In the meeting where Samkelo and them were interrogating me and thinking they've got facts like you are doing, unless you just arrived from Ukraine, you will not know what are the issues that transpired before. They even made me to take out my wallet in search of the cut you are talking about. They couldn't find it on me. What makes you want to raise the same issue that you probed me, not through questions, literal search, and the cut you are talking about, you could not find in my position? Try something else. VBS will not work. We're not here for the first time. We've been tested before with unfounded allegations which their aim was to achieve a political end. The abuse of state and the state resources has never intimidated us.
All right, guys, let us talk about Matoti VBS affidavit, which they released again, which had the names of the high-profile leadership of the EFF. Here we are talking about the leader of EFF, Julius Malema, followed by his deputy president, Floyd Shivambu. But we would like, as you want also to know, what is the position of the EFF in all this? Well, so far, there is an interview of Dalip Pofo, who managed to give an interview, giving the point of view on how EFF sees everything. Before we get to discuss everything in details, I'm inviting you first to have watched this video, have listened to what Dalip Pofo is giving as an explanation in behalf of the EFF. Then I'll be back with more analysis.
No, in a way, we're just tired of having to say the same thing about this. Every time somebody speaks, it's blown up as if something new has come up. Now, the latest, of course, is this Matodzi affidavit. Now, the most important thing about that is that actually nothing new comes out of that affidavit, nothing at all. If anything, that affidavit contains information which absolves the persons that you have liberally said that they've been fingered. Because Matodzi says, remember in the previous, all the previous reports, Mutao and Daily Maverick and all that, it was said that these were monies that were paid to the persons that you've mentioned. Matodzi now says, no, this was a donation to the EFF, not to the persons that you are mentioning. And he says that he had of course he does say that he had a meeting with them, but he specifically says that it was a donation to the EFF. So there are three things that need to be separated. One is, let's call it the Zuma loan, because he says that what sparked this whole thing was because the EFF was criticizing the Zuma loan publicly, and it was damaging to the organization. So he felt that he needed to meet. Now, that's very normal. I can tell you, I've been in the corporate world. I've been a so-called corporate affairs and stakeholder management. I've even been a CEO. That's what happens. If your company, if someone is talking about it, you either go yourself, if you're a CEO, or send your corporate affairs people to explain, as he says in the affidavit. So he says he went to explain the Zuma loan, and that's why he had the meeting. Now, it turns out that he says at that meeting, he also said, look, our constituencies are the same, and offered, this is very important, offered a donation himself. Now, you might want to say, well, why would he offer a donation? The answer is that companies offer donations. We've just had now an election where tens and tens of millions were given to political parties. And then, of course, he then says that this donation, which he offered, was then paid over, or there was this arrangement that there must be a bank account and so on. Now, if you compare that to, for example, what he says happened with the ANC and the SACP. Now, he says those parties solicited or asked for donations, unlike the case of the EFF, where he says he offered it himself because of the coincidence of constituencies. I can't remember the exact wording in the affidavit. So the point I'm making, Paul, is simply this. This Matotsi affidavit, if anything, sheds better light as to who the beneficiaries are and who they were not.
Yeah.
Because we were told earlier, no, this one bought Nando's and all that with VBS money and so on. Now, the man makes it clear that there were these donations. And to the extent that he says that they used vehicles and all that, that's what happens. I mean, if I do a deal with you, I can use any vehicle. That's how the money, the CR17 money, was channeled.
All right. So before I move to Mr. Tebogo Kaz,
Yeah.
just for the record,
Right.
there is no denial this time that the EFF party did receive funds from VBS.
No, there's never been a denial of that. That's why I'm saying there's nothing new. There's always been there are two. Okay, I was saying there are three things. The third thing is the loan, and that's what has always been in the public domain. Now, so you must separate what he calls a donation, which is what happens to political parties. There's no political party that doesn't receive donations. You see, let me assist you, Xoli. What is being said here is that there's corruption, okay? So I say, where's the corruption? Where's the fraud? And where's the money laundering or any crime? Okay. And let me assist you. If, let's take the worst case scenario. Let's say the guy says, okay, I'll give you a donation. He doesn't say that, but I'm just making it up. Let's say he says, I'll give you a donation if you stop criticizing me. Let's assume he said that. He didn't even say that. Even if he said that, so what? Because it's not a crime to criticize someone on a public platform or not to criticize them, for that matter. So it's not as an exchange for any corruption. What was the EFF going to get in return for not criticizing him, which happens, as I say, every time companies engage. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I was accused of having met with Maria Ramos because we had threatened to march to APSA. And her people came, it was not her, by the way, but her people did come to my office to say, look, we want to explain the reason why you want to march and so on. And I listened to them, and that was it. So I will now going to arrest Maria Ramos because he sent people from a bank because the EFF was saying things which they thought they needed to explain, which is exactly what happened here.
That was Advocate Dalim Pofu, who's one of the EFF representative, especially in this TV show, which he was being asked a question to see on how what can be the position of the EFF regarding all this. And if you guys will pay attention to what he was saying, of course, there's a part where he kind of like acknowledging that this was a donation indeed, but before that, apparently, it was not something which the EFF had even accepted that it was a donation. But the question, the second question which was put to him was to just make it even more clear to understand whether if this money was a donation and the EFF, they acknowledged that no, it was a donation. The question was, why was this money not being donated in a legal way and have to go through some companies which was led by the young brother to Floyd Shivambu? Because we all know that is how things happen. That money, that so-called donation, apparently it came through the company which was run by the young brother to Floyd Shivambu. So that is where the question set it. And the journalist who was asking these questions, he had to emphasize on that part and ask this question to know if you guys will don't have nothing to hide, if you guys will believe that it was a legal donation which each and every political party does go through, like normal political party. Like Dalim Pofu himself, he had said that there is no a political party which does not accept donations, and most of them, they can even go and ask for this donation. EFF, they did not ask for any donations. This donation was given by to them by someone willingly without them asking it. So the question here actually was to know why this donation have to go through a certain company which was led by the young brother to the deputy president of the EFF. That was the capital question. And here's what the answer Dalim Pofu had to give.
We know that those monies came via Scamega.
No. So let me first correct Tebogo. He says, which is correct, if you receive a bribe, whether you've asked for it or did not ask for it, doesn't matter. But that's the whole point. What does it mean, a bribe? A bribe for what? That's the point I'm making. If a company gives another company donations, we have a letter from Helen Zille saying to the Guptas, thank you for your generous donations. That doesn't mean that we don't know the conditions under which those donations were given. Yeah. So a donation does not equate a bribe. That's what I need to explain to him. Yeah. So that's the first point. Then come to your question. I didn't say anything about how the money left this or whatever, or who received it or didn't. I'm saying to you that even on the Matotsi version, I don't think the Matotsi version should be taken seriously. We shouldn't be sitting here, at least the one thing you said correctly in your introduction was that we're talking about a convicted fraudster. Now, that alone, in law, there's something called a cautionary rule. When you are listening to evidence, even in a court situation, evidence of an accomplice, let alone a convicted fraudster and criminal, just an accomplice, if we do something, Tebogo and I, and then I testify, but we did it together, the courts apply what is called a cautionary rule, because that evidence is prima facie unreliable. Okay, so that's where the thing comes from. Yeah. So now I'm saying, put aside the cautionary rule. Even if you take it at face value, it is exculpatory, at least as far as the specific leaders are concerned. Now, whether the money, as I've said, if you use a vehicle, the 1 billion rand that was paid to Ramaphosa was paid through SPVs. That's how the donor wants to do it. That's how the donor wants to do it, or that's the arrangement that is made. It doesn't really matter. The point of the matter is that a donation to a political parties survive through donations. Before the Political Party Funding Act, so this happened in 2017, according to Matotsi, and that act came in place in 2018. So one thing I can assure you is that when we have a rally, when we have this and the other, we go and ask for donations from people. It's not a crime.
Well, guys, again here, you can see that the advocate Dalim Pofo deny all the allegations, I mean, the corruption allegations in behalf of the EFF. He gave his own reasons, and by explaining that whatsoever EFF have received, it was all a donation, a willingly donations, which they receive without asking anyone. Well, guys, but this is something which has to do with politics, and I don't want to say much about this because there is an interview of the president of EFF, Julius Malema, which he had given about 4 years ago regarding these matters, where he had to address this point of VBS money and how did it happen. He had to give his side of reasons or response to all the allegations. Have listened first to what Julius Malema had said back then, so that we can come back and try to discuss more about this topic that we had prepared for you today.
The VBS matter, right? I've never spoken to VBS people. The person I know in VBS and do not know that much about that person is Matodzi, the chairperson of Vele, who was introduced to me at the party of the Bavenda King, Wompepu. So I've never had any dealings with them. This is very simple, Samgel. When a case is opened, the Hawks have got access to all our forms of communication. They can even apply Section 205, get it from the judge, go into the history of our phones. In this case, they've done, by the way, with the VBS colleagues who are arrested. Nowhere will you ever find me in any form of communication with any of the VBS people.
But it's not about communication for you with the VBS people.
No.
There is a bank card, Mr. Malema.
We are coming to that. Yes, we are coming to that. I get it, we're building a case.
Okay.
So,
Julius, sorry, hold on. I want to go back to the issue around the VBS people that you never had contact with.
Yes.
Then one needs to ask, why was it then? Did you never wonder why they found EFF to be strategic all along? Because that's kind of what the communication has been. When you look at Paulie van Wyck's stories, which, by the way, I understand her stance for her not deciding not to come. I absolutely get it. I think it's sad because there are many questions. She's led the story of VBS and would have been great to have her in the room. But I also understand why she made a decision not to. But coming back to the issue of VBS and EFF is the one thing she's managed to show is that VBS was seen as critical throughout. I mean, EFF was seen as critical. Have you not asked yourself why, if you've never had communications with these people, why would they look at your party?
But it's CD, let's not talk general. We're no longer gossiping now. We're dealing with facts. Read an SMS where they said EFF is strategic of Paulie van Wyk. Read it to me.
All right, I think
There's no any form of communication in Vele, in VBS, in any of the evidence displayed by you where they describe EFF as being strategic. No, not a single one.
you are, Julius.
Yeah.
And perhaps the one SMS that we can go to is the
Yes.
one that Floyd Shivambu sent to the former Minister of Finance, Nene.
Yes.
And just to quote there, he says, "Greetings, Minister. It looks like VBS will be placed under curatorship, mainly due to something that National Treasury had not clarified in terms of accounts of municipalities," right?
Yeah.
So this was a clear attempt by the second in command of the EFF to try and influence a decision on putting VBS under curatorship. We also know on record that the EFF played quite a strategic role in terms of communication via a press release where you were very critical of the Reserve Bank putting the bank under curatorship. So there were at least mechanizations by the EFF to stop the bank from being placed under curatorship. You clearly had an interest there.
Yes. But you're deflecting. She says there's an SMS. I'll come to that.
Okay.
There's an SMS that says EFF, it's a strategic entity to be influenced. I'm saying to her, there is no such communication. There isn't. Nowhere can you find a communication that says Julius is strategic, Floyd is strategic, EFF is strategic. There's no such a communication.
So if there is no such communication, why
Now,
is it that
the EFF opposed on principle, even now, we still stand by that position that The VBS was supposed to have been rescued because it was one of the black banks. And the VBS should have been given a full banking license. And anyone found to have violated the banking regulations should be charged and blacklisted not to practice banking anywhere in the country.
But
Because-
even now, Julius, you're still defending the SARB putting VBS under curatorship. I mean, given what we have seen from the forensic report about the great heist, right? How do you, at this point, say the bank should have not put VBS under curatorship when so many people have lost their money? And clearly there was mismanagement of that bank, and there are still hundreds of old people, pensioners who have lost their life savings. And today you're still saying, in principle, they should never have put it under curatorship.
I still maintain, rescue a black bank, arrest the criminals, hold them accountable, recover the money, and pay the depositors. But the idea of a black bank being closed under a democratic government, under a government which never established any bank, that bank was established by the Bavenda King, existed under difficult times. Why should it be closed now? Should we just close a bank because there are criminal elements in the banks, or should we arrest the criminal elements? Let's arrest criminal elements and rescue the bank.
But part of a curating process is just
On the issue of you benefiting from VBS, for instance, there is this bank card that Paulie has done magnificent work on. Wherever you were, be it Cape Town, be it in the land hearings in the Northwest, be it in the Eastern Cape, be it at the Durban July, this credit card is always where you are, and it's Mahuna Investments, which received over 4.3 million rands from Gameka Investments, which got monies from VBS, which is a company owned by Brian Chivambu. So why is this credit card or bank card always where you are?
Well, my brother is always where I am. He's a brother of mine. We work together. So there is no problem if his card gets to be used where I am. He is here now. The card might be used somewhere here now. Let's take Durban July, for instance. My brother's company hosted a marquee in Durban July where they sell tickets and they sell alcohol to people. If you go to the hotel and you can't say, you know, you celebrating mediocre because you say Paulie van Wyk did an excellent work with this card. That is, there's no excellent work. It's a bank statement. You can give me your bank statement. I'll tell you where you bought. By just looking at that, it's not intelligence.
No,
it's a
but-
bank
but
statement.
she
Mr.
went
Malema, no,
beyond
no.
that. I mean, she went beyond that.
What do you
Literally,
mean?
she has been able to
it's a
link-
statement and then a Facebook
you're-
status
But Mr.
of the
Malema,
EFF.
you are telling us that this brother of yours does not work. He's always where you are. And
No,
only
he's
making
working.
pretenses.
He was working in Durban. He was working in
What does he
Durban.
do?
Huh?
What's on? What does he do?
I just explained to you that in Durban, he hosted a Durban July marquee. I was at his marquee. He sells alcohol there. Let's take the Durban card, for
And then
instance.
he uses his own card to then buy stuff for you there.
Not his own, buy for me.
No, you saying he buys wherever you go.
No, but he
Is there
uses his
specific-
card for himself, not buy for
Okay,
me.
okay,
I
okay.
buy for myself. And for information, I don't buy from H&H. I don't buy from Pep. I
But
don't
that
buy
card bought from Gucci
I
as
don't
well.
buy from Nando's. And I don't buy for that amount at Gucci. So nothing is very close to me. If you were to look at mine, in comparison to that, you'll be shocked.
Why don't you
So
subject yourself to a lifestyle
in
audit?
the Durban, coming back here, your friend Paulie did an excellent work, right? The excellent work, Matlas, would be knowing that I didn't drive from Durban July. I flew. Because he says Malema on his way back from Durban July, he bought Nando's. But I flew from Durban. I didn't drive. So why would I buy Nando's? My brother in all the rallies of the EFF, he's there. All of them, by the way. All my cousins are active business people in their own right, and they're EFF members and EFF leaders. We spend most of the time together. So what he does with his own money and his own cut is none of my business. I don't, for instance, the Hawks have got all the power. Let's go to Durban. Let them go to the hotel where the police says I booked into a hotel. Let them go and see. I didn't sleep in that hotel when I was at the Durban July. Let them go to Freiburg, a land hearing. Let them go and check. Every business premises has got cameras. Let them go and check there. They will never find me in those things. Now, coming to your lifestyle audit, there's no politician in this country who has been subjected to a lifestyle audit than me. SARS conducts that. From time to time, SARS conducts that. And you will know that I've been subjected to that. So I'm not scared of such things.
Then why don't you just call for it to be done openly and...
On which
basically-
grounds?
Mr. Malema, you're saying your cousins and your brothers are in business, and some of them are always around you.
No, all
Particularly-
of them.
All of them, they're always around you. You've had a scenario in this country where former president's relatives and the incumbent's son were all doing business with relatively, what may say, allegations of dodgy business people. Are you not, in a sense, having your brothers or your cousins compromise you? Because they are essentially, with Mahuna and Skameka and Sangatara, they are involved in these issues of VBS.
They are business people. No. They've always been. No, they are. And they
No, I
don't
don't
need...
deny that. When I'm coming in, sorry, Julius.
No, but you just started by saying no. What
Okay,
is
let me
that?
give you a
They
chance
are
before I
business
come in.
people.
No, go ahead.
And they've been business people long before the EFF. Some of them implicated in Limpopo. Some of them have gone through the courts in Limpopo and won cases in Limpopo. I'm not there when they get to be subjected to those things. They answer for themselves. Majority of them, by the way, married with not less than 2 kids. So if they can't do business, what must they do? I can't feed them. In a country where the unemployment is very high.
So you are saying that it's okay
Hold on,
to have your cousins allegedly compromise you in the form
No,
of the
they're
way
not compromising me. It's correct for my cousins to do business. Let them do it.
Okay, Julius.
Let them do it.
Fair, I accept that. Né?
Yeah.
You know, last year, towards the EFF second elective conference, the NPA,
Yeah.
you were upset about the behavior of particular EFF leaders in regions, in provinces, those who were lazy.
Yeah.
And you were speaking about the clumsiness and the impact of all of that on brand Julius Malema specifically.
Not me.
No, hold on, let me finish. Yes, you.
No, but
because
okay.
then, Julius, before then, you and I had a sit
But
down.
quote it.
I'm
gossip.
I'm not gossiping.
Yeah,
I'm
quote it.
taking it to our interview.
I've
you
never
guys.
said that.
Let me
Yes.
finish.
Quote it.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Then you and I have a sit down.
Yes.
And I said to you, you seem really upset when you see the things that happen and the attacks on the EFF because you say they fall on your head, and you agreed.
Yes.
And you spoke about the impact of anything that goes wrong. It is pointed directly at Julius Malema. Surely one expects you to have a similar perspective on family.
Yes.
If your family, which has the right to do business, you're correct, steps out of turn, is attached to anything like VBS where they are said to have stolen from Bukoko, surely, as Julius Malema, who said what he said to me last year, you have the same mindset and have the right to go back to your family and go like, guys, don't do that, lang compromise.
No. My brothers, let's take Tsepo for instance, is a former national leader of the YCL. Politically conscious and knows what is wrong and what is right. He knows that he has to engage in business in an ethical manner. They are old enough to know that. And if they do not comply with the laws of South Africa, they must know they will be arrested, they will be sent to jail, and there's nothing I can do. So from where I am, my brothers have done nothing wrong. And where they've done anything wrong, they've always been held accountable. So many of them have been to SARS inquiries, by the way. Many of them have been subjected to assessment by SARS. Many of them have been questioned by the Hawks. So in their own right, without my involvement, I can't say to them, don't get involved in business. I can say to them, don't engage in corrupt activities. The same way I will say to you, Samkel, be ethical journalists, do not take brown envelopes. That's all I can say. But I'm not going to have a brother who's a journalist and then say to him, no, you can't be a journalist because journalist takes brown envelopes. And he will say to me, but I'm a different one. I'm ethical, and I know that by virtue of being your cousin, you may be implicated. In my family, we don't have a history of criminals. No one has ever engaged in criminal activities. They are very handsome boys, majority of them engaged in clean business, and they are doing very well for themselves. And I want to encourage them to do more and empower more other young people.
If you could give me a few minutes, Julius.
Yeah, sure.
So I just want to be quite clear. So you are stating categorically that you have never enjoyed any of the money that was taken from, looted from VBS.
Matlatse, you've got the platform, put it to me. That's my vision.
I am asking you.
That's my vision. I've never benefited any cent from VBS. And why would I benefit from VBS in exchange for what?
Okay, so
So if this is the vision I present and you refuse to accept it, present your vision.
I just want us to be quite clear. Sir
Yes.
Julius. All right. Now you're saying that this credit card that Polly in her investigation has shown that it has followed you around.
Yes.
Did you at any point benefit from the use of that credit card by simply the fact that this is your cousin, brother who is with you and might have bought something for you?
Well, I wouldn't know if he used the credit card. He won't say to me, Buti, I'm now going to swipe a VBS card or Mauna card or anything. So if I'm sitting with him, one of the instances Polly mentions in Seychelles, that we went to Nimi's Chisanyam. So I will go sit there with them. And then when I leave, they pay.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know how they paid and all of that.
So they
But
did-
now you do. Julius, what I'm saying is that now you do know that there was money that was taken from VBS.
Not by my cousin. My cousin has never used any VBS money.
But Mr. Malema, there is a proven payment from Skameka,
Yes.
which received a payment from VBS
So
into Mahuna.
So Skameka is VBS according to
No,
you.
no, but the move,
No, the money, the source of the money is VBS. It moved from VBS, Vela, to Skameka, to Mahuna. The very same Mahuna that in the middle of a fuel contract in Tshwane, just in the middle of the adjudication of the tenders, had been receiving monies the day before, on the day of the tender of the adjudication, or that is Mahuna, and after the adjudication of that particular tender in Tshwane. So this Mahuna, wherever the EFF is co-governing, whether it be Joburg, Tshwane, now in the issue allegations of corruption in VBS, it's there. And this company is linked to who? To you through your brother or cousin.
Now, you know, you just did a very brilliant work for me. Because you say that card is VBS card, but at the same time you say there was money that came from a company that does work in Tshwane, a company that does work in Joburg, a company that does work in agriculture department. So it's not a VBS money. It's a money that belongs to Mahuna.
part of that money was from
Now your
VB.
new question is part
Julius,
of the money
no,
now.
No, I'm saying to you, Julius, so there is some benefit and
But you
directly-
keep on
Let me
shifting
finish.
the
I want
goalpost.
to finish my question.
Yes,
as I was
you
putting
keep on
it.
shifting the goalpost. Your colleague answered you. The same card has got businesses in different entities. It's not receiving money only from
Mr.
Sgamek.
Malema.
So, Julius,
People are going to be arrested now, Matlatsi. Watch the space. CFOs, municipal managers, mayors, and some politicians in the ANC. I want to tell you now that if there is any municipality that can say, we put money into the VBS because Malema said we must do that, I will resign all the positions of the EFF without any
Mr.
hesitation.
Malema, stop deflecting.
I'm not deflecting
We are-
unless you don't know the concept
Wait,
of
wait,
deflecting.
wait. This can't be your show.
Then say it in
It
suit.
can't be your show. We need to, let's engage.
It's my show. I'm
No,
the
it's
one
not
who's
your show.
answering
We are here for an
questions.
engagement. If it's your show, we're going to walk out.
Don't threaten because you don't
I'm
have
not threatening
facts.
you. That's a fact.
You are threatening. Hauna di issue. You don't have issues. You are threatening. You ran out of issues.
Mr.
Hey, but now you ran out of issues. Now you want to go. The door is open. If
No.
you exhausted
Mr.
your
Malema.
issues, you can go.
Mr. Malema.
You don't know what deflection means.
Mr.
We're still
Malema.
on VBS.
Mr. Malema, these payments, is it not suspicious to you that this particular company in Tshwane that is bidding for this contract is making payments to DDM Entertainment of Marshall Dlamini, the SG, and also making payments without you clarifying what sort of business they are doing to this particular BTT fuel company or trading company that got this contract that has been nullified by the North Gauteng High Court, why are they making payments to Mahuna and to DDM and later on to Slankatara of investments, which is also linked to you? Is it not suspicious to you?
No, it's not at all. But the boys are working. It's business to business
What
relationship.
kind of business are they doing?
I've explained to you. I said consultancy, hospitality, management, events, all types of events. So I wouldn't want to go and answer details of what the boys are doing with the company in question.
Are you not concerned that you have companies?
No, I'm
of
concerned. I asked
people
them.
close to you
I
are
asked them.
implicated
That's
in
why,
so many things.
That's why I asked them. No, not in so many things.
Okay, in
Yeah,
the few things that
yeah.
have been
No,
maybe
finish your
not so
sentence.
many-
So you asked them,
I
you asked
asked
them?
them.
You
I
asked
asked, and they explained. They explained everything that, specifically with the companies that are exposed. I may not know other things, but I will ask them, what's happening here? What is the story here? They will be able to say to, Chief, these people who are involved with them on this project, which has got nothing to do with Twan. So let's take Joburg, for instance, Matlatsi, on the fleet management company. The boys are engaged with that company on agricultural projects in Limpopo, which was way before the fleet. They don't control what that guy does, but they've had subcontract with him in Limpopo in the agriculture department. But because they paid each other those monies there, now they want to expose this guy of fleet. They say, no, he paid a bribe to Julius. Even when contracts are shown and invoices, it's still not enough.
Just a simple and a direct question to you.
Yeah.
Are you currently being investigated by the Hawks for anything related
Nothing.
either to VBS or anything
Nothing.
else?
I'm not being investigated by the Hawks on anything. On anything. I'm not being investigated by SARS on anything.
Was
My
Floyd
crit-
asked to deposit a statement at any point?
I don't know Floyd, but he would have told me. If the Hawks make contact with him, he would have told me. So Floyd has not been asked by anyone to make any statement. So Samkel, when I make a political point, right, it's not informed by my personal experiences. Because when I criticize the president, they say, no, he's being investigated by the Hawks. Not a single Hawks person ever gave me a call for anything. Nothing.
Guys, please keep in mind that this interview took place more than 4 years ago, where the president of EFF, Julius Malema, had to give all these answers. So there is a lot of development in these matters, which have took place, as you all can see that there is even some of the main, or should I say big fish in these affairs, that they had to go and give their statement to the police, and they had to confirm again that yes, indeed, there were a bank account which was created in this VPS, and the money was deposited into this bank account, and they had to explain who came in, how we saw the name of the deputy president of the EFF being mentioned all over, all also in these affairs. So when you look on the side of the EFF, at first it was all about that they don't have anything to do with whatsoever is happening in the VPS. And at a certain moment, they came again and said that no, indeed there was a money, but it was a donation, and so on and so on. So if you see through the questions which the journalists they were asking the president of EFF, Julius Malema, it was all trying to make him understand that people are being mentioned here, that people who are more close to him. And him also, the answer that was giving was to tell that yes, people who are being mentioned in this VPS sagas, that people who are close to him, yes, but him has nothing to do with all that. And he told the media that he had took enough time to sit down with these people and ask them some questions to see whether they know something, so that they can tell him, and the people or his close friends or brother, cousins, or whoever they call it, these people, they come and confirm to him that no, look, this has nothing to do with you, this have that and that. So to summarize what Julius Malema said, obviously it was him trying to make it more clear to everyone out there that yes, my name might be mentioned in all this because of the way they trace how this bank account was card was being used different places where I was located. But that does not mean that I was part of this. That does not also prove that I'm the one who's controlling this card. This card belongs to someone, and it is on themselves. They can use or spend their money on how they feel like. So if it happened that I'm being surrounded by the owner of this card, and they are spending it maybe on some of the hospitalities on me, maybe like the way you mentioned about Deben July, different places where he have been, and it happened that they are using this card maybe to book a flight ticket or to do something. That does not have to do with him being part of these allegations which they are putting. But on the other side of the media, they keep on hammering and insisting, saying that if these allegations comes with people who are surrounding the EFF leader Julius Malema, which means he may have something to do with all this in one way or other way. Well, what can we take from all these guys? Because if you see this case more properly, you'll understand that it is more official, that it is a political case whereby politicians, they are trying to attack one another, or should I say, whereby politicians are trying to destroy one another. And remember, in the world of politics, there's only two ways of eliminating each other. The politicians, if they fail to eliminate you physically, they'll have to find a way to eliminate you politically by destabilizing you in every activities that you do. And if you look at a political party such as the EFF, for all the things that they've been doing in this country, especially when it comes on way of fighting corruption and everything, targeting all the big fish in corruptions, obviously there is many people out there who are watching them more closely. Each and every single move they have to take, people have to take that one and use it against them. So in other words, EFF, there should be a political party which have to lead by example, by fine example, because they should know already that they have a lot of enemy out there. All the corruption allegations which they have raised against different individuals, whether it is in the public enterprises or whether it is in the government or whether it is a different system of this country, you will find out that these people, once they lost their job or once they're being accused with these allegations raised in the parliament, maybe by the EFF or maybe in a different municipalities, these people are not happy. They'll have to find something that they can use against the EFF as well as time goes by. And once this kind of rumors come in to the public, whereby, no, look, the reason why this black-owned bank, black-owned bank, VBS, have collapsed with money of people inside, it is because they were busy spending millions of money founding the EFF or giving the EFF leadership, and they have to spend it by buying expensive Gucci's, by buying this and that, as they are trying to make it look low right now. Trust me, these are the kind of allegations that will give each and every enemy of progress for EFF to take that and use it against them. So my take in all this, I will say that the EFF, they should be more clever. They should be more reasonable in this kind of matters. They should be aware that they are having a lot of enemies who want to have something that they can use against them. Because even if you see the way the journalists, they were asking questions, obviously they just want to make it even more clear to everyone out there that no, we put all the questions to the leadership of the EFF, and this is what they gave to us as answers. So these matters, I don't see it finishing anytime soon, because everyone out there, they believe that there is no smoke without fire. And what I can say is that the EFF, if they can acknowledge anything, if they can acknowledge any kind of something that they have to do with these people, I think it's about time they can come out before this allegation get to even spread all over. They can come out and explain to the world, especially to those who believe in the EFF vision, that no, look, yes indeed, we acknowledge receiving this amount of money, and it came in this ways and we use it for these ways. We were not aware maybe of this and that. Instead of them coming forward and saying that no, we don't know anything, when everything's on the page is showing that somehow, some way, the EFF, they are being linked in all this. Yes, when you listen to all criticism that is taking place, to everyone who are talking through the medias, or even to the affidavit that's being given by the police right now, you will see that it's everything says to show that the EFF, they are linked somewhere. So I think it is way to clear up their names, since so far they have not been approached by maybe start investigating them or something like that. I think it's about time they can just come forward and try to acknowledge of what they know, as much we saw Advocate Dalipo for coming forward and explaining that no, this money was indeed a donation. If it is a donation, let keep it that, let them keep it that way. Let them have the same point of view when it comes to this, and not having different point of view, whereby some acknowledging that no, yes, we acknowledge 1, 2, 3. Some they were like no, yes, but it was not that way, it was this way. Because the more they keep on coming up forward with different point of views, the more suspicious they will rise to the eyes of everyone out there. I think that is what we can tell you from our side. So the EFF, they should be aware that they are having a lot of enemies, whether it is politically, whether it is within the country or outside there with the Westerns. So these people, they are so determined, and they are willing to do anything by all means to ruin the reputation of the EFF. And the EFF, they can only defeat this kind of people by always make sure that they have a proper way of communicating with people of South Africa. When their names being mentioned somewhere, they must come forward and tell people what they know. If they have something to do with that, accept it, then we move forward. If they don't have something to do with that, then they can just stay on their statement. I think it is that way things will be more easy, because it's not going to be good whereby you move forward, but there's something that keep on following you, and people have to come and remind you of what you have said before or what you have done before. That I don't think is a good thing for EFF to be having on their side. Well, guys, it was very important that we take our time to come forward and discuss with you these matters, and as we try to show you some different interview which the leadership of the EFF, they have given about this VBS money saga. So, and we try also to share with you our point of view on that. Feel free also to drop us your comment in the comment section. Tell us also what you think about this VBS money saga. Tell us your opinions. We really do appreciate that. Tell us, is it a political fight that the EFF they are facing right now, or is it actually something which actually took place, and the EFF, they are not wanting to accept or to confess of what they know about this VPS money saga? So feel free to tell us also your point of view in the comment section. We'll have a look on that. Guys, we are working hard lately to prepare you some of the actualities which is happening right now in Africa continent, and we are inviting you to stay tuned on our channel, because we have a lot of surprises that we will be sharing with you in our next videos. So if you want to be part of this conversation that we'll be having with you in our next videos, and you have not subscribed to the channel, we are giving you this opportunity. Click that subscribe button, give us your thumbs up, so that whenever we are here live again, you'll be able to join this big family called Cool Buzz TV. But for those who've been watching us for time to time, guys, we really do appreciate your presence to this channel. We appreciate your effort and your unconditional support, because without you guys, I don't think we'll be able to take our time and risk our life in order for us to come and share with you all the analysis that we usually have with you on this platform. So therefore, we just want to acknowledge your presence again this time on this channel. We really do appreciate you for everything. Don't give up on us, because we know that it's together as Africans we will continue doing much more big things together. So continue watching our videos, continue supporting us in any way possible that you can. We really do appreciate that. But before you leave, guys, I'm also inviting you to give us your thumbs up. We'll really do appreciate that, because you giving us your thumbs up, it is a way of you supporting us. By the way, it's free of charge. It's not like you are donating anything like a VPS money or something like that. No, it's just a way of you encouraging us so that this video and the message in this video can reach even to more people out there. So we are encouraging you to make sure that you subscribe and like this video in your numbers. I think that will be all for today, guys. Stay blessed, stay cool, because we still need you again here. So for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.